America. Again, I'd like to thank Mayor Holness and the Commission for allowing community members the chance to speak here today. And in regards to the proposed ordinance, I would also like to say that while I do appreciate the fact that we even have the opportunity to discuss the Police Review Board after all of these years of, yelling at the top of our lungs for change and some kind of, resolution to this problem, what has been proposed is not hardly enough. So with that being said, I, as well as other community leaders, have presented additional demands we would like to see in this ordinance. For one, we demand that there is a total ban on current or former law enforcement officials eligible for nomination to this board. And historically, we do not trust that they can make fair and impartial decisions, as law enforcement officers have a very shoddy history when it comes to withholding information that makes them look bad. Next, in the spirit of transparency, we demand that all board meetings be streamed live and available to the public, and we want to know exactly what this training that each board member goes through and what it will entail. Also, I did notice in the ordinance that the board will release the data at least once a year. We demand quarterly updates to this data made available.
It up to also any kind of organization that is also of service to the public. Many of these organizations who are not only just working with these disproportionately impacted people, but the people that are directly disproportionately impacted because they're working with people that are incarcerated or dealing with bail issues and things like that. So I think somebody who is in a nonprofit or some other kind of organization could be just as much of a great tool in this review board, who is also in a leadership position and is very well knowledgeable of these subjects. Second is in the training. Part of the training includes a ride along with police, and what I would like to propose is too that there would be possibly a visit to the environment where these people are incarcerated, so that there can be the other side of the coin of an exposure to not just what the everyday is for a police officer, but what it is, that is happening in the jails too, just to get this other view of a component of the criminal justice system that's very significant. Next is I want to echo what some of the previous speakers have said, which is that maybe no current or former police officers would be included here, because I think that would maintain the integrity of an external review board. And I can see you're trying to preserve by not giving votes to the ex officio members that are related to police. So I think that would be in line by providing that line somewhere in here in this ordinance.
Mr. Reese, please wrap.
Next is, I'm sorry?
Please wrap. I'm going to give you another 12 seconds or so. Go ahead. 2 minutes already passed.
The functions mentioned the report is a lot of data analysis. However, in the functions it talks about policy recommendations, but that's not reflected in the report summary or in the objectives, and I'd like to see that in there because it's a very important function. And to include data from other agencies other than just the police, that there should be latitude to be able to say what kind of data goes in there. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else? Operator?
Mayor, Michael Rayner here.
Okay, go ahead, Michael.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Michael Rayner. I'm speaking as an individual, although I do chair the county's Human Rights Board. And this is an issue that the consensus of the board was we were very pleased that another board is being created to look at these issues. I do want to thank the mayor for attempting to address a concern I raised last week in an email to ensure that there was some inclusion of the LGBT community. However, I feel on page 4 of the amended document, lines 18 to 21, do not satisfy the request. Currently, as a member of an advisory board,